Are you confused when you're placing day trades? Are you placing trades based off different entries? Are you inconsistent? Because if that's the case, then today's video is going to be extremely helpful for you. And let me tell you why. In this video, I'll be sharing with you 3 separate strategies that can help to provide consistency when day trading. And what I mean by that is that the end of this video, if you watch the whole thing, by the end, you will no longer be confused about when, where, or how to place a day trade ever again. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 separate trades that I took live today. I'm going to show you each of those trades, and then I'm going to break each of them down so that you understand the strategy I used on each of these trades, and that way you can take these strategies, test them for yourself, and decide if there's something you want to include in your trading plan to make you a more consistent and better day trader. So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below the video to the right hand side. Smash that like button for me to help out with the YouTube algorithm. Follow us over on Instagram. We actually released this video on Instagram 2 days ago. So if you want early access to some of our YouTube videos, following us over on Instagram is a great way to do that. I'm going to let the intro and disclaimer roll, and I'll be right back to share these 3 day trading strategies with you. Talk to you in a second. Welcome back, guys. The first trade we're going to take a look at is on the dollar Canada. Before we break this trade down, I'm going to show you the live trade that I took this morning using the strategy I'm going to teach you in just a second. So let's take a look at that live trade, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, just got involved in 2 trades. One of them's right here on the dollar Canada. It's pushing down pretty quickly. I literally got involved in this less than 3 minutes ago, and we're already pushing down towards targets, but I wanted to show you the entry. I'm going to explain the analysis to you afterwards and show you how this trade actually plays out. And just like that, guys, banked in about 600 bucks here on the the dollar Canada. That literally was less than 5 minutes. Didn't expect it to go that quickly, but I'm going to show you the analysis behind this trade now and let you see what I was looking at and the reason for actually placing this trade here on the 5-minute chart. There was a lot of work that went into this trading opportunity, and I want to show you my entire mindset and show you the exact strategy I was using in order to get involved in this trade so that you can see how to start testing and eventually placing trades like this on your own once you decide whether or not you want to include something like this into your trading plan. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so here we are back on this dollar Canada chart, and we're on the 5-minute chart right now. But what I want you to understand is this trade didn't start on the 5-minute chart. I didn't look at the 5-minute chart and just go, oh, I'm going to start trading this. And that might be something you're doing. You may just be placing random trades on the 5-minute chart, and that could be a big contribution to why you're losing money trying to day trade. What we're going to capture with these 3 strategies is moves from a higher time frame, major level of structure that we can catch on lower time frames in order to get a large amount of pips and in order to hit profits that normally we wouldn't have hit on higher time frames. Let me show you what I mean by that. So what we're going to be looking at for starters is a 4-hour chart. I'm not going to look at a daily chart because I'm day trading. So in this case, I'm going to look at a 4-hour chart. And if you'll notice here on the 4-hour chart, we are right up against what? If we look left, this is a structure level that has been tested multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times as resistance, 5 times if you keep this line pushing back. So this level has proven to push the market around heavily on the 4-hour chart. If it's pushed the market around heavily on the 4-hour chart, what are the chances that it's going to be used again as resistance? You see, here's where you may have been messing up when you're day trading. You may just be looking at the 5-minute chart or just looking at the 15-minute chart. And that may be a big reason why you're not losing. Imagine this with me. What if the only time you ever place day trades is right as a market went to a higher time frame level of major resistance or support? And that's what we're doing with this first strategy. And that's going to be an incorporation in all of these strategies, using major levels of support and resistance on the 4-hour chart, and then going down to the 15-minute and the 5-minute chart in order to place actual entries. So in this case, and on this trade, on this opportunity, what we were looking at is this level of structure looking left on the 4-hour chart that had been tested multiple times. So strategy number 1 is find a level of resistance or support that's been tested multiple times as resistance or support. So in this case, we have that level right here. On a 4-hour chart, when the market comes back up and gets close to that level, that's when you're primed for possible day trades. That's when you need to start going down. You need to put a horizontal line on the screen or a zone. It's not going to be just a line of resistance. This was really an area, and if I take all my drawings off and actually put another line on there, it'll probably make it easier. This was really an area that looks more like this. And what I had to do is wait for the market to get in that area and then give me a reason to actually enter the trade. So this is the first strategy I want to show you, is how to enter the market, or the conditions we need to start looking for day trades. Remember, what if you just day traded only when the market was at a major level of structure on the 4-hour chart? That's the only time you went down to the 5-minute to trade. Do you think that would improve your odds or make your odds worse of winning? It would improve your odds, right? So that's exactly what we did. Now that you know that condition, we're waiting on the market to get to a major level of 4-hour structure. And on this specific strategy, that structure level needs to have been tested multiple times as resistance. Okay, so let's go down to a 5-minute chart. We actually went down to a 15-minute chart first, and I missed my entry. Let me explain what I mean by that. I did not get the entry that was our selling pressure. If you've seen my video called the 5-wick rejection, we have a 5-wick rejection here in a major zone of structure, okay? And what a 5-wick rejection is 5 wicks coming into an area, and each time the market rejecting that area. And that's what happened here on the chart, but I missed that. So with the first strategy, I want to show you what I do when I miss the trade. I missed the initial trade. So instead of looking at the 15-minute chart, since I missed the initial trade, the first thing that I'm going to teach you in this specific strategy is waiting for our level to be hit. Remember, we looked out on our 4-hour, we found a major level of structure. After that major level of structure is hit, I want to see the market start trending down. If you've been a part of the trading channel for a while, you know that for a downtrend, I look for something called a 1, 2, 3 move. All that means is that I have a leg pushing down. I call that my 1 leg. My pullback is the 2, and a break and close below the structure support of the 2 leg is 3. So 1, 2, 3 equals downtrend. So we ran into our zone. Condition number 1, we need to run into a zone of major structure resistance. Condition number 2, we need a 1, 2, 3 move out of that zone. So we push down 1, 2, 3. At this point, we're in a downtrend on a very low time frame after hitting a major level of structure resistance on a higher time frame, and I am looking for short trades on my day trading time frame. This is the area when I can start looking for short trades. So we pushed up again. I got no entry in this area. I got no reason to actually enter the market. We broke again, breaking support one more time, and this is when I started looking for sell trades. After we broke resistance again, or support, excuse me, after we broke this support one more time, like so, I started looking for possible selling opportunities, and we'll push the market forward. And that selling opportunity came with selling pressure right in here. And that's what you just saw here on the dollar Canada. We had a position after seeing some of this selling pressure, the pullback, the little wick you see, let me zoom in here. We actually entered on this little wick on the 5-minute chart. So our entry looked something like this, but this is what our entry looked like. And our exit was in the just right spot. We had a stop loss right above the swing high, but that was a breakdown of the full strategy that we used in order to place this trade. We were waiting on the market to hit our higher time frame level, start a downtrend because it was a level of resistance. If we were running into a level of support, it would be the opposite. We'd wait on the market to do a 1, 2, 3 move, a 1, 2, 3 move up from an area of support on a high time frame support, 1, 2, 3 move out of that, and then start looking for trend continuation trades moving up. That's the first strategy I wanted to share with you guys. So hopefully taking that just by itself can help you to improve your day trades. Now, let's take a look at the second trade we had today, and that trade was on the Euro Aussie. Let's go ahead and take a look at that live trade right now. I have another trade here on the Euro Aussie that we just got involved in as well. These are both day trades, and I'm going to show you exactly how I got into them in just a second, but wanted to show you the entries first. So I'll let you know how they play out. All right, guys, there we are. We've hit our profit. The order hasn't been filled yet, but I'm not going to let the spread stop me. Let me go ahead and get rid of this before I buy back in. and get rid of the stop loss order. We have hit the profit on both of these trades, and now what I'm going to do is break down the analysis on the Euro Aussie trade here as well to show you my mindset and how I got into this market and managed to make a little over $1,100 this morning in less than an hour just on this one specific trade. So let me show you how I did that. Let me show you the mindset and the strategy behind doing that right now. So we're about to break down the Euro Aussie chart, but before we do, I want to show you this on the dollar Canada. This is what we're taking advantage of by placing trades around these major levels of structure on the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, when markets run into these major levels, like we pointed out here on the dollar Canada, they tend to at least have small pullbacks. Now here's the difference, and here's what we're taking advantage of. If we would have placed a trade on the 4-hour chart, this is something like our trade may have looked. We would have placed an entry somewhere in this area, who knows. Our stop loss would have had to go above this high, probably above these highs, way up here. To get a 1.5 to 1 risk reward, at minimum, we would have to be right here at 1.4082. We're nowhere close to that target, right? Whereas on a 5-minute chart, taking advantage of a lower time frame and a day trading strategy that I just showed you on the dollar Canada, we ended up getting a 1.5 to 1 risk reward on that time frame because the market doesn't have to move nearly as much. So that's what we're taking advantage of. I wanted to show you that really quickly, but now let's go over to the Euro Aussie chart so I can break down that strategy for you and show you the second strategy of this video. Let's go ahead and look at that right now. Okay, so for strategy number 2 here on the Euro Aussie, we have a similar situation, but the difference being in this case, the level of structure doesn't have to be tested multiple times. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you look left with me here, on the Euro Aussie, you can see that we have this major level of resistance. This is a level that pushed the market around a lot. Let me show you the difference. Would this be a major level of resistance right here? No, we pushed the market down 2 candles. That's not pushing the market around a major amount. The more experience you have, the better you'll get at identifying major levels. But whenever I say this, I mean we are looking for a major level of resistance, a level that's pushed the market around a good bit. So we definitely have that right here. This level pushed the market down a very large amount. So when the market gets back up to that level, this is the time that we're looking for possible day trades. So again, looking for a major level of structure resistance. This time, the market doesn't have to have hit that level multiple times, but we do need it to be a major level. And now let's go down to the 5-minute chart so I can break down this trading opportunity with you. So here we come up and touch our zone, right? This candle, big candle, touches our zone. We don't get an immediate entry reason of any kind. But then something that really intrigued me about this opportunity is that we pushed down heavily from our zone, breaking below and closing below our previous level of structure support. And if we look left now at this time, after we break and close below that level, I'll put a red line there. Let me make these a little bit easier to see. Okay, I'll put a red line where we close below. We just closed below that level, right? Well, if we look left from there, you can see that this is a level that's been resistance and support in the past. This is what I call a swap level of structure, and those are very important. So for strategy number 2, I'm going to be looking for a swap level of structure. That was the second way of looking at structure on a 4-hour chart that we just looked at. It needs to be a major level that's pushed the market around a lot. The second way of looking for possible entries for me is looking for a swap level of structure that's been resistance and support all at the same time, and then looking for the market to push down from that level. Give me some selling pressure. So if we move the market forward now, see what we get. We get a nice doji candle to the downside. When the market started breaking down past that candle, I actually went ahead and entered this trade. And as you can see, we pushed down and soon after hit my targets, as you just saw on the previous video right in here. So there's a breakdown of the second strategy. So now let's dive into the Canada yen trade, the third trade we had today, the third day trade we placed. And what we'll do first is I'll show you that live trade, and then directly after that, I'll do a full breakdown of that trade and teach you the strategy behind it. So let's go ahead and look at that live trade right now. See you in a second. All right, traders, looking at one more trade today. It is on the Canada yen. We just got our entry here on this pair. What we're looking at here is what I call a loss of momentum trade. And this loss of momentum happened. Let me go ahead and put my stop loss in order, actually, in case this market goes crazy. Put a buy stop up here. So in case this, excuse me, that's not what I was talking about. Loss of momentum trade, we see that we have this big wick here. So that tells me there's a lot of selling pressure in this area on the Canada yen. The black line you see, we will discuss. This little dotted line might be a little bit hard to see right here. We'll discuss why that's there in just a second. But what I'm looking at after this long wick, we had a push down that didn't quite move as far as you would expect from this much selling pressure, right? So with that being the case, I'll wait for a push back up into our wick zone. And in that wick zone, I wait for the market to round out. I wait for a loss of momentum. As you can see here, this market had big candle, even bigger candle, tiny candle, small candle, and then we have an engulfing candle to the downside. So this is showing me a nice loss of momentum and rounding out of this market. I'm going to see if we can get about a 1.4 to 1 risk reward here out of this trade and come back down into the support level. Another day trade, just like the other two trades we've taken so far today. My stop loss is just above that wick because if the market starts to push up here, then I don't want to be involved in the trade anyway. So we will see how this plays out, and I will keep you updated. See you in just a second. All right, guys, so there we go. We hit our target here on the Canada yen trade as well. So what I'm going to do now is go through and break down this entire trade for you. I also need to delete this buy stop order so I don't get involved in the market for no reason. So now let's jump over to a higher time frame, see what this black line is all about, and let me explain this entire mindset and entire trading process to you that I used during this day trade here on the Canada yen. Let's do that right now. Okay, traders, back here on the Canada yen chart, let's go over strategy number 3. We just talked about the entry a little bit, but let's zoom out to the 4-hour chart and check out this next structure identification that we're going to use. Remember, every time you day trade, what I want you to think of is only day trading when you have the highest probability of creating an edge over the market. And when do you have that highest probability? It's when the market's at major levels of structure. We just talked about 2 ways of spotting those major levels of structure, and this is the 3rd way and the 3rd strategy I'm going to teach you in this video. And that is looking at major levels of previous support that were broken. At the point that a major level of support is broken, it's highly likely that that level will become resistance, at least for a small amount of time. And even if we have that as a level of resistance just for a small amount of time on the 4-hour chart, it gives us plenty of movement and plenty of time to capture profits on a smaller time frame like a day trading time frame. Remember, we don't need this 4-hour chart to continue in a downtrend in order for us to hit our profits on a 5-minute chart. We can hit our profits quite easily with just a small amount of movement, or what would look like a small amount of movement here on the 4-hour chart. So now let's go ahead and drop down to the smaller time frame and take a look at what the market did. Remember, the 3rd way of identifying structure is the previous level of structure, a previous level of major structure that was broken. And when the market pulls back to that level, we're looking at it as resistance to push the market lower. So on our day trading time frame now, back down to the 5-minute, we just talked about this a little bit, this loss of momentum trade. Let me go a little bit further into detail. I was looking at this as an area that now I know has selling pressure. This line that you see on the chart is that 4-hour level of previous support turned to resistance. Well, at this level, we get a long wick to the top side, meaning tons of selling pressure right here, right? Well, when we get back to that level, I didn't place a trade on this candle. I didn't even see this chart at that point. But what I did notice is that we were pushing back up into my area of selling pressure. If we look at that wick as an area of selling pressure, we're pushing back up into that area. We're pushing up there with 2 pretty large candles, but then we're seeing a loss of momentum with smaller candles. So that's what this led me to believe. That's what made me decide to go ahead and place a short trade here on the Canada yen in expectation that we would see this market fall. And here is what happened. At that point, the market did pretty much nothing but fall all the way to my target, as you just saw on the previous video, this trade hitting targets quite easily. So that was the Canada yen trade breakdown. That was a full video of 3 different strategies that you can implement into your day trades right now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. But if you are ready for some more advanced training, then we just had a few graduates come out of the EAP training program, our flagship program here at the Trading Channel. I'll post some of their testimonials on the screen. And that is incredible news for them. And that's also incredible news for you, because that means that we finally have some spots available in the EAP training program. And while you glance through some of the comments on the screen, I want to tell you that if you're struggling to profit right now, then I've been where you are too. I struggled for over a year before I found a way to be consistently profitable. I made every mistake you can think of. I moved stops. I used poor risk management. I traded strategies that didn't work. I followed a signal service that ended up with me almost blowing my entire account. But after that first year, and after nearly blowing an entire account, I found the real path to trading success. And consistently profitable trading became as easy as counting to 6. And that is what I teach in the EAP training program. I created a strategy that only uses 6 simple rules to create an edge over the market. So once you memorize these rules, trading becomes as easy as counting to 6. These rules are completely objective and easy to follow. And although just having a strategy is only one part of the equation, it is a very large part of that equation. In the EAP training program, we also have lessons on risk management and discipline to make sure that you have everything you need to get on the right track to becoming a consistently profitable trader. And here's a look at some of the things that are included in the course. As you can see, we have beginner lessons that teach you everything you need to know about technical analysis in terms of what you're going to learn in the course. We have a transition course, which is meant to take you from where you are to becoming consistently profitable. And after that, we have an advanced course that is meant to take your trading to that next level. We also send out 3 to 5 email alerts every week. These are not meant as signals. Let me clarify that. But instead meant to show you exactly how I am looking at the market. And we also do a review video at the end of every couple of weeks to show you how the strategies are performing. And you can check those out right here. So if more advanced training is something that you are looking for, then we do have a few spots available in the EAP training program. This program also comes with priority email, meaning you can email me at any point that you have questions and I will answer you ASAP. So if a trading mentor is something you are looking for, then look no further. Go ahead and click the link in the description for the EAP training program, and it would be a pleasure to have you aboard and to have you join us in the EAP training program. If not, that's totally fine too. Make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. Make sure to click that like button for me if you enjoyed this video. Follow us on Instagram at The Trading Channel, and I will see you in the next video.